So a quick story about me. I played on my middle school basketball team and we sucked. Like we would lose by 60 points and it was bad. One day I got the ball and I was booking it down the court and I heard fans yelling and I just knew I was killing it. No one on the court was opposing me and I had a free shot, so I took it. And I shot the ball towards the other team's basket, which would explain why there was no defense. I can't even remember if I made it, and honestly, I don't know what's worse, the fact that I shot in the wrong basket or the fact that I missed it on top of that. Either way, I do recall being embarrassed and feeling like a failure. What about you? Are you afraid of failure? Has that fear stopped you from pursuing a goal? For some of us, being embarrassed once or twice is enough to stop you from putting yourself out there. But maybe your fear stems from a critical upbringing where you could just never live up to expectations. Or maybe you're a perfectionist with unrealistic goals. No matter the reason, fear of failure makes us quit and self-sabotage before we even get the chance to see what we're really made of. The good news is, fear is a natural part of the human experience. We all feel fear from time to time, and if you don't, well, you might be a robot. In fact, a little fear is healthy because it means you're stepping into the unknown and trying something new, which is a sign of growth. Fear also causes you to think about your consequences before you act. Without fear, you go around doing a whole bunch of dumb stuff thinking you're some sort of invincible superhero. And as much as I love Marvel, in real life, Chris Evans is just a regular schmegular guy, just like the rest of us, right? Hi, I'm your life coach, Eleanor, and today I'm going to help you overcome the fear of failure so you can get unstuck. But first, let's talk about the ways in which fear can manifest into self-sabotage. Fear of failure can show up in a few different ways. It can look like imposter syndrome, believing that you don't have the skills or knowledge to achieve your goal. You might underestimate your own abilities and set the bar so low that you don't have to worry about letting yourself down. Fear will also manifest as procrastination or even self-deprecation, telling people not to expect too much so that they have low expectations of you. You might even find yourself paralyzed by the anxiety of letting others down or constantly worrying that others will judge you for your shortcomings. Or even worse, they might say the D word, disappointed. So now that we know the ways fear might make us self-sabotage, let's figure out how to overcome it. The first step to overcoming fear of failure is to acknowledge it. Fear is like an imaginary monster. Thinking about it makes you hide under the covers and close your eyes tight, hoping it will just go away. But the longer you hide, the bigger the monster gets in your mind, the more it desires to devour you, and the less you feel empowered to do something about it. So instead of pretending that the monster isn't there, turn around and face it as soon as you feel it coming. And it's okay to be afraid while you do it. Fear is the loudest voice in your head right now, but being loud does not make it right. Fear never completely vanishes, but as you learn to face it, the monster gets smaller and your courage becomes greater. The sooner you accept that you're afraid and stop trying to pretend like you've just got it all sorted out, the quicker the universe will guide you toward exactly what you need to overcome the very thing you fear. Once you have acknowledged that fear, the next step is to embrace it. Embracing fear is a sign that you are stepping into the unknown and stretching yourself, a key indicator of growth. It's one thing to say, yes, I'm afraid. But it's a whole nother mindset to say, yes, I'm afraid, but I'm going to take that fear and use it to my advantage. In order to fully embrace fear and kick its butt, you also need to believe and trust in yourself. If you're in a space where it feels like you just keep getting knocked down, believing in a better future can feel impractical, if not impossible. Like, don't you see what's happening to me here? I'm trying my best and nothing is giving. Look, I know what hopelessness feels like, and it can turn the best of us into pessimists. I was one. When the struggle feels never-ending and hope is elusive, how can we believe in ourselves? By understanding this. Your current situation is not indicative of your future. Belief is not knowing all the answers. Belief is trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. So don't doubt yourself because you're in a tough season and you don't have all the answers. Instead, build self-trust by looking for proof of times in your life when you didn't have clarity, but you figured it out anyway. If you wait for all the answers, you'll be waiting until you're 6 feet under. God, the universe, Allah, Buddha, whatever you believe, it won't give you all the answers. That's not how the game of life works. Struggles, trials, They're non-negotiable and they're a part of the human experience. Everyone has to have them. That doesn't mean they all hold the same weight, right? But everybody's got something. And if you don't get stronger, you won't be able to lift the weight of the blessing God actually has for you in the future. And here's the thing. This blessing already has your name on it. It's sitting there waiting for you to take the journey, build the stamina and the strength necessary to carry it. Another reason people fear failure is because they've got imposter syndrome and don't think they have what it takes. But I'm here to tell you, you're right. You don't have what it takes right now, but you have to build the tools and craft yourself into the person who does. If you've never run a mile in your life and decide to run a marathon tomorrow, you'll probably pass out. You don't have the training or the physical endurance to make a 26-mile trek. But if you start training today for a marathon that takes place in a year, you'll kick that marathon's butt. You'll build the strength, the knowledge, the discipline, and reach your goals if you start now and work with what you have. But the key word here is work. And while you're getting to work, understand that reaching your goal will take time. So plan accordingly. To squash fear, you've got to be all in. You can't settle because of convenience. Excellence requires education, patience, and dedication to your goal, all of which take time. Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000-hour rule in his book, The Outliers. The theory is that it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert in your field. So no, you don't have what it takes right now to achieve your goal, but you will. Keep learning, and your competence will feed into your confidence. The more you know, the more you grow. Before I get to my last tip, if you've enjoyed this video so far, please like, subscribe to my channel, and make sure to bring a friend by. I make this content to help people overcome the struggles I faced, and your support helps people find me. Okay, my last tip is an easy one. Remember, you always have a choice. You are not a slave to your calling. You can quit, you can take a break, you can even start over. If you commit to something and it no longer feels right, there's nothing wrong with switching gears. It's better to try and learn from your mistakes than to never try at all. Pursuing your goals is tough, but if you remember that you always have a choice, suddenly you become a lot more grateful for the opportunity to figure life out, even if it is messy and overwhelming right now. So let's recap. Squash your fear of failure and get motivated by acknowledging your fear, embracing the fear, increasing your self-trust and belief. Get to work, mentally prepared to go the distance, and remember that you always have a choice. Some of us have harder lives than others. There's no reason to sugarcoat it and no way to get around it. You might literally be living check to check right now, barely making ends meet. And while it may seem that I might be saying this from a place of privilege, know that I've had many struggles in my life. So I'm not being flippant when I say money can come as fast as it goes, but a passion, a purpose, a goal, now they set a solid foundation from which you can build a meaningful life. And I know life is tough, but you get to wake up and decide how you want to live it every single day. While your situation may feel bleak, know that it is not your final stop on this train called life, and you don't have to settle here. Get to work kicking fear's butt. Your future self depends on it. Until next time, be well.